hit me.
Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 211. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else the gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for broadcasts for shooters, hunters, and all things firearms related. In this show, we'll be discussing the JP Silent Spring Review, and some new Ruger products. If you can imagine, you've probably heard all about them. Tonight on the podcast, we have Tony, Zane, Rob, and Mike. Mike is doing the review on the JP Silent Spring and was the host of the Precision Rifle podcast. So we'll start with Mike. What'd you do in firearms this week or last week or whenever?
Well, last week I was able to pick up some items that I had in FFL jail here in California. Despite the fact I already have plenty of firearms, I was able to get some more lowers in California, and they're going to be shipped to North Carolina, where I'm retiring. Brownells had a great sale on the Manta AR-15, as you were, the AR-10, their version of a matched upper and lower for half price. So we got those and then shipped them off to the mail at my parents' house.
What a deal. Sounds like a deal. Yeah.
But I haven't been doing much because my right leg here, I've been dealing with a few months getting the thing reconstructed. So it's kind of hard to get out to the range right now.
Yeah, I can understand that. If you're getting anything done on your leg, you kind of have to limp around. And if your range is anything like any of them here, they're like gravel and mud. And
yeah. Well, my range it's a private range. There's only 300 members. We go out to 1,000 yards, but the problem is you got to get out of your car twice to unlock and go through 2 gates.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
Yeah.
Let's see. What did you do, Rob? No, Rob might be.
Well, let's see. I just had to unmute myself. Calm the heck down, old man. Come on, Grandpa. Give me a daggum minute. Now you know we're slow in the South. Come on, man. Let's see. 2 weeks ago was Christmas, so obviously taking care of that, making family happy. And then I was going to do some fun gun stuff last weekend, but my car decided to on me right after Christmas. So I've been dealing with that for the last one. Thank you. I'm not going to say the name of the car, but I'm going to have to talk to the manufacturer dealer and see what I can work out for a repair bill. And when they said you're going to need a new engine, I kind of went, oh crap! There goes my Christmas, and there goes the training I was going to do this year.
Yeah, so, that sucks.
Yeah, that sucks big time. But anyways, that's.
Yeah, I'm just giving Tony warning on his muting.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Rob, why don't you tell them you're a pretty big deal on the internet, and they should hook you up. I'm just saying. Hey,
yeah, they should know how important I think I am. they should know. I can put a review on the Kia Sportage. Oh, I'm sorry, the car that I own, and 50 people might actually care about it.
Hey, man,
and no
you're on
the
the
biggest. Based on my recommendation.
You're on the biggest firearm review show on the internet.
Pound for pound. You got that right, baby.
That's right. That's in our outro
now. This is what I did. I went to Black Bag Resources and picked up some speed loaders for my Smith & Wesson 686.
Oh, nice.
What else did I do? Oh, because of my personal situation with my mom and everything, I was holding on to money because I have no idea when I might have to take off and, go down to Virginia and spend some time down there and help her out. So my funds were not available to take advantage of the many deals that were out there. And also, my car blew up at the end of November, too. So I have a new one that I'm making payments on that I weren't planning on making. So that kind of derailed Christmas.
It's a lot of cars blowing up in New Jersey.
No, my car's the only one in New Jersey. And it was at the end of its lifespan anyway. But it is what it is. I have a new Volvo station wagon, chick magnet. And thank goodness it's cold out, or they'd be jumping through open windows trying to get at me.
Where I live, all the hipsters drive Volvos.
He's talking about wheel guns and Volvos. Who's the old guy on the show?
Yeah,
we all know
kinda,
it's Tony.
yeah.
I mean, he is older than.
That's
so what'd
okay.
you do?
I do understand. Whoa, who went somewhere?
I don't know. Nobody.
Lincoln, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what'd you do, Zane?
I went to the range once and put a few rounds down range. Not too much. I got a holster in for review. I turned my camera on. I think you showed it last week, but
I don't know if I showed yours.
it's works holster. It's for the Glock 17 and TRL-1, and got it in, put it together because Papa Cheapo over there didn't want to ship it with the clip attached because it would fit in a smaller box if he took the belt clip off.
Hey,
So got to put together, play with it a little bit. Seems nice, but like I said, I got to put a couple hundred draws into it before I can really decide. So we shall see. Other than that, I don't think I did anything. Oh, I shot an old man gun, Tony. I shot my 1911 a little bit.
Did you?
Oh, that's great.
That work?
No, I still haven't got magazines at work. So
pretty soon, because you shot a 1911, you'll eventually grow hair on your private parts,
right.
and your voice will deepen, and you'll start liking girls. Just like
Are you sure about that, Tony?
It's really hard. It's really hard to beat the Glock perfection over here. So I don't know.
You were saying that before the show now. Come on.
Listen, what I said before the show was before the show.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't even record it.
I don't know.
Zane just dropped the Hillary Clinton line. You have to have two opinions. One for private, one for public.
That's right. Exactly.
What about the third one for Congress?
Nice. It doesn't matter.
Wow.
What difference does it make?
Well, that's it. What difference does it make? I'm sorry. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What difference does it make?
Okay.
I just wish Glock coming out with
ahead.
I just wish Glocks would quit coming out with new generations. Earlier this year, I got a Gen 4 Moss in the 17 and 34, and then as soon as they came out with the Gen 5, I got a Gen 5 17, and now they got all those other new X Glockses and everything else.
Well, that's how they keep making money. You see, they keep revving their Glocks, and people go, "Ooh, I have to have this next Glock and this next Glock and this next Glock."
I don't
Wait a
think the 19X was really ever supposed to hit the civilian market. I think they honestly thought they were going to win the military trial, and they tooled up to produce thousands of these. And now they're like, oh, well, let's see if we can sell them to somebody.
No.
I think they're going to sell some.
Oh, no. We talked about that before the show. I'm sure we'll talk about it on a future show. But, yeah, they're going to sell.
Yeah.
Oh, Glock tards have to have the latest one. Right, Mike?
Well, for me, it's a matter of students. I even went out one time and I had an XD for competition, but then I went and got an XD45 because I was going to have recruit students who are going to be carrying those. So
There you go.
I'm kind of a student of the gun. Whatever my students are going to have, I'm going to want to know. So I've got a whole collection of different guns. Pistols.
Hold on. Say that again because I have to be able to repeat it to justify my gun purchases.
It's a write-off. Which
hold on. Let me repeat it.
Okay.
I have to have whatever my students have because when I teach them, I have to be able to teach them on their platform. How's that?
Correct.
No, that's
perfect.
That's good.
All right, cool. I want to say it a few more times because
Well, you can always.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I use my same argument for action types. I need a revolver because I need a single action, double action because, and now of course I need the Glock because. And
Well,
Does your wife really buy that crap?
No.
My wife just is glad when I don't talk to her. So when I just drag out the explanation a really long time, her eyes glaze over and roll up into her head, and then I just stop talking, even if it's in the middle of a sentence, and then walk off.
And she tells you to go away.
Oh, or she tells me to go away. What do you have, a camera in my house, freak?
No, I'm married. Come on, I know this stuff.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Well, I actually last Wednesday, I think it was, went to the range. We got a ballistic vest, a level 3A in for review, and so we took it out and shot the hell out of it. Basically, this happens to be a 12 gauge slug that we pulled out of it. It looks like something else went through it also. So, but yeah, this is basically tons of lead that I pulled out of the vest afterwards. So yeah, eventually I'll get the review up for that. And then today, right before the show, a Glock 17 slide from Freedom Flag Products came in for review, along with it is Cerakoted from Nevada Cerakote. So that literally came in like 15 minutes before I sat down to open everything up.
Yeah. Those are some neat slide cuts that it has there on the front.
Yeah, they're out of Nevada. This is one of their pretty much standard Glock 17 slides. It's got these kind of my video probably doesn't show it very well, but if you go to the website, it probably shows it a little better.
So, that's it's ported gun.
Yeah, unfortunately, Faxon sent me a barrel for it, and it's not a ported barrel because it's a Faxon barrel. So
is that for Glock? You said it's for Glock 17?
Yes, it's actually.
I'm gonna have access to a ported Glock 17.
Yeah. Well, actually,
you might.
Actually, it looks like those slides are more there for slide lightning than they are for porting because they're long and narrow.
And they're a little further back than the ports usually would be.
Yeah.
It looks like.
Well, send it to me. I'll test it on my Glock 17 as ported. We can verify that.
Yeah. So that's what I did. I guess we'll move on to the announcements. Our bandwidth sponsor is our favorite people over at Patriot Patch Co. There are new patches for pre-order, and the patch of the month is the January one is Stay Frosty. It's got a snowman with a, I don't know, is that like a saw maybe? Kind of looks like one, but something to that effect. So you can get in on the patch of the month club. The pre-order it's got Hearts and Minds morale patch, and basically it's belted, it's linked together, and one shell says hearts, one says minds, and it repeats itself. So there is that over at Patriot Patch Co. You can go buy those, sign up, all of the aboves. I guess there still is a listener support program, so you can go to firearmsradio.tv/pledge gun gear review podcast if you want to pledge some money to support us in reviewing stuff and going to SHOT Show and stuff like that. You can also support the other shows over there at firearmsradio.tv/pledge. Amazon, please use our affiliate link at firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. And if you want to donate some stuff from Black Bag Resources to Tony and his 2A4E diversity shoot, you can use the code Simon Says Terrain for basically free shipping to give everything in your cart to Tony. Hey, Rob, your disclaimer's up.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast or those of the individual co-hosts do not necessarily reflect the policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers. Viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows. How was that?
Ooh, you're getting good at that. That was awesome.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Way better than last week.
Yeah,
well, last week I just made a bunch of crap up, and it kind of showed.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, but you know, we got our disclaimer now, so we must be official. Yes. So now we move into the main topic, and Mike's got a review of the JP Silent Spring Force, so you can take it away, Mike.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Springs we know are very important for the AR-15, And my first journey into springs for the AR-15 started when I was using a AR-15 for what's called the NRA High Power or Civilian Marksmanship Program. And typically the springs are, your typical cylindrical springs. They're cylindrical, they're round. They're supposed to last for about 5,000 rounds. And my first match rifle, I was at a major match, and it quit functioning. And so from there, I found out those cylindrical springs aren't really the best. So I went to these David Tubbs Superior Shooting Products flat wire springs, which I know you can't see it on the camera, but it's a flat wire spring. Well, that worked out great if you wanted a rifle that was going to be shooting a suppressor or something that you wanted a longer dwell time for more accuracy. When I got into 3-gun a couple of years ago, I was told I had to use a lighter spring and a lighter bolt and all this stuff. And so I got a lighter spring, which is, guess what? It's a round cylindrical spring. So how does that spring look different than this spring? You got to keep track of them. So I found out there's a whole art to tuning a rifle. Lo and behold, I had discovered these JP Enterprise silent capture system spring system. It's one complete unit here. If you go to jprifles.com, they have it there. They're really neat. They're also really expensive, which is why I didn't hurry up and jump into it. Last year at He-Man Nationals, I finished high enough when I walked the prize table. There was a really nice gift certificate hidden in there for JP Rifles. I was able to get a couple of these and a couple of the low mass bulk carrier groups. So what the silent capture spring system allows you to do is tune your rifle for the type of shooting you are going to be doing. Especially, I would say, if you're going to be shooting a low mass bolt carrier, these things are the bomb. They come in a really neat triangular case. And the one that I got, they've got different versions. You can get them for an AR-15, an AR-10, 9mm. They also have another version called an H2, which I'll get into that in a minute why you want one of those. But how it comes, this particular one, it's the AR-15 Silent Captured Spring Builder Kit with alternative spring kit. So it comes with 5 different springs. And for those of you listening, I will try and describe this. You have a steel rod that's about, I would say it's about 12 inches long, but my wife would probably say it's about 7 inches long. Boy, everybody mutes, man. There's no jokes there. Okay, all right. I see everybody laughing.
So we're giving you the courtesy of
no,
quiet.
I laughed. I laughed a lot. I was just muted.
Well, we were all talking our butts off, but we're being courteous.
Okay, thanks. So nobody.
I didn't get the joke.
Tony didn't get it.
I didn't get it.
Okay.
I don't have to lie.
That ain't right.
Okay, we won't go there, Whitefish. All right. So anyway, yeah, it's a aluminum. This one's an aluminum rod, small plastic cone at the end. There are 3 different weights in here, which easily spin. The spring goes around the shaft of the system. You push it down, and it holds everything together. So now what I have here is I have my buffer system and my spring all in one. And what comes with the kit, like I said, it comes with 5 different springs. I'm holding up to 5 different springs. And what JP did that was really nice is each one of these springs at the end is color coded. And on their website, if you go to their instructions, it really doesn't give a weight per color. But on the first page of the instructions, it lists them from lightest to heaviest. So the lightest is white, and then black, then green, then yellow, and then uncolored. And these springs really look like a spring that you would have in a man gun, like a 1911. a little bit bigger than a Glock. And the first thing I noticed when I use this is no twang. The first time I shot the AR-15 was in '79 at a junior ROTC summer camp. It was great growing up in Texas. And when I shot that, the first thing I noticed was the twang. And throughout my career, the military and law enforcement, I got used to that twang. And then I found this, and this takes out the twang, and it's really improved the reliability, especially on that low mass bolt system that I'm using now. Now you can use this with a carbine buffer. That's what it's designed for, just the unit itself. If you have a rifle length buffer system, because the rifle length buffer system is a little bit longer, it comes with this little white cylinder to take up the extra space in there. Now I've got some rifles with an A5 stock system from Voltar. And that is right between a carbine and rifle length. So what you could do, JP doesn't have it in their instructions, but I don't see why you couldn't, is you could trim down this little white spacer to fill the gap in that was required to fill it. Now, back to the weights that are on here. There's 3 weights. This one works with let me get back to my other doodad here. What's that doodad? Computer. It ships with just 3 steel sleeves. Now the H2 is designed for if you want more mass to slow down the action of your rifle. You would need that for a suppressor because you get so much back pressure. If you don't have a heavy enough buffer, that thing goes flying back and bad things happen. So what you can do, you could either order the H2, or what I did, you can order the tungsten weights to go in here. So with 5 different springs, the ability for 3 different weights, you could tune this thing for just about anything that you needed it to. And what I found out for the since I've been shooting these ARs now for so long and M16s for so long, a lot of problems that come up with them are because of the buffer system. So I think this really solves a lot of problems. Just this standard silent capture spring system by itself is $139 on the JP website, and if you got the kit, it's $169. The AR-10 goes up to $196. However, you can get them a little bit cheaper at Brownells, and I'm going to do a plug here for Brownells. If you join their Brownells has a no BS return policy. So if you get it, you don't like it, return it. And if you become an Edge member, $49 a year. If you order more than 3 things from Brownells a year, that has paid for itself right there. Plus you get the heads up for some different deals. So that's about it. Has anybody else used one of these?
I haven't personally. I have shot a few rifles with them. I am here in a little bit. I'm going to have you go over our 8 key points. Do you have your review up, or?
No, I don't. But you can tell me what I wrote.
I can read them for you. I mean, it's super easy.
Yeah, go ahead and read them for me, because I've got it on my laptop, which is downstairs.
That's fine. But I was going to say before I do that, I have used these in other people's rifles, and if the twang bothers you, which you mentioned, yes, they do get rid of that. You know, I like the ability that you can tune them. I just haven't gotten around to needing them yet, really. So I just haven't gotten one. But your review actually is super thorough. I mean, you know, even Sean, I noticed he posted on our Instagram or something that it was a great review. So I will say that. I'll go into the Firearms Insider 8 key points on this. The claim to fame.
Okay.
Self-contained, complete spring buffer system, eliminates the drag and twang of traditional buffer tubes, unless you do it by hand.
Yeah.
Target markets, AR-15 shooters looking to improve the performance of their rifles and end the twang. The features and benefits: exceptionally smooth operation, easy installation. unique look, aids in recoil efficiency, and no bolt bounces. I'll get to that here in a second. I'll ask a question. Other finishes, options, and different buffer weights, stuff like that. You already went over the price point. There are links in the written review to other reviews, so that's good. If you need it now, you can get it at Brownells or JP Enterprises. So for our rating, the pros, you gave it easy to install, easy to adjust, smooth weapons reciprocation, and it is quiet. The cons is it's expensive but worth it, and you gave it a score of 9, which is excellent. So there is that. And I don't know if you know the answer. If you're running an full auto M16 lower, does it work with those?
I don't know, but I could find out.
Don't tell the armor.
In about
In about 2 months, right?
In about 3 or 4 months, because I got to get back up on my feet. It just so happens that the range I have in my reserve unit, some people don't even know it's there because we're way out of the way. And our armor is like, our gunner's mate, he's like, if you want to try it, go for it.
Oh,
yeah.
Just don't blame me. So.
I was just curious.
I'm sure you could, because at the I'm going to quote our dear president, Sean Heron. At the end of the day, it's it is.
We all moan.
It is a spring. I'm assuming, if you just tune this thing up, we've got, and there's no reason why it shouldn't, because we have other weapon systems that are fully auto that have something very similar to this, just on a larger scale.
Right.
Yeah, I
now the only
basically all it's doing is recoil. So
yeah, the only thing that you can't use this for is if you have a precision weapon system, early model, enhanced bolt. You can't use that, which I have one of those. Unfortunately, like I said during our pre-meeting, I've shipped most of my firearms to my future home in North Carolina. And the reason why you can't use the precision weapon system early ball carrier group is the rear, the bore is too small, because this rod is stationary and the ball carrier group is actually running back and forth and running into the rod. That primary weapon system prevents that. And
right, because their bolts got a smaller hole for weight, probably, I would guess.
Correct, because
which means
and the purpose behind that is it put more weight to the rear, so it eliminated some bolt carrier tilts.
Right.
And I've
got some of the sorry, go ahead.
Right. And so that's it. And what's nice is, what I like is that JP doesn't leave you in the dark. It's on their website. It's in their instructions. And JP Rifles also makes some great videos on there. There's one other thing. In fact, JP is very responsive to their customers. They had one customer who said he was finding it was too short when he put it into his carbine buffer, and there was space between the rear of the ball carrier group and the front of this buffer of this captured spring system. So their armorers at JP looked at it and came up with an ingenious solution. If they took and put a quarter in the tube first and put this in, it filled up the space. So
what you're saying is, if you want add a bunch of weight and you're using it in an A2 system in a standard stock rifle length stock tube, then you could just stack quarters in there for the same as that plastic spacer.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
As you can tell, we're brilliant on this show.
Yeah. Well, it all depends on what your end game is. Like my precision AR-15 that I use for cross the course matches, that thing weighs 15 pounds. The stock stock's like 7 pounds, because when I put that thing up shooting when I put that thing up, I don't want it to move, and I'm not running around with it anyway. So.
Oh no, you're positional shooting basically. So yeah, I
Correct.
mean, I understand. When I was young, okay, no jokes here, okay, guys. I used to shoot small bore, so I understand. Okay, I guess
Hadn't invented. That's because they hadn't invented anything large bore yet.
yeah,
Numbers
okay,
didn't go that high. Numbers didn't go that high when you were young.
that's
Tony,
right.
I
We
thought
all,
you had a New Year's resolution to be nicer to Chad.
no, I never heard that.
I never said that.
Oh.
This looks like a pretty neat project for someone trying, or a pretty neat product for someone trying to build up a home gun or for competition or whatever. I like the idea of it because I never liked the idea of adjustable gas blocks. It always felt like that was the wrong way to tune a gun, and most guns come way over gas from the factory anyways.
Yeah, ideally for a competition gun, you want to be able to have a barrel maker that can put in a smaller port. A standard port is designed to be overgassed, but I've got some adjustable gas ones just because that's what was needed for the system. But I much prefer, like the last Saturn barrel I had made, I had it specifically designed with a very small gas port in there. Tridentis Tactical, who's building AR-10s for guys going out into bad places, they do the same thing with their proprietary barrels. They put a smaller gas hole in there. Is that the correct term? Gas hole?
Gas. Yeah, sure. Gas. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go with that.
Giggity.
Yeah, they do that because AR-10s are severely overgassed.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that some of the bigger name rifles, like in the thousands of dollars, come overgassed.
Yeah, they do that for reliability, and it's really
because a lot of it is they don't know what ammo the people are going to use. They're going to use low gas ammo or high brass, or how are they going to set the rifles up? So they have to design it so anybody can shoot it and it'll run with everything. I mean, because I had the same issue with my AR-10 when I wanted to run a can on it. It was just getting too much gas to the bolt, and it was just slamming the crap out of it, and I was getting double feeds because it was overcycling the bolt.
Then you're a perfect customer for the silent captured system.
The only well, it's too late now because I already called the manufacturer and they put a adjustable gas block on it.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd be wondering about this is if you put that on there, you're still going to say you don't put an adjustable gas block on there. You're still going to get the same amount of gas going through the gas block down the tube into the bolt without overgas the bolt system, the tube system.
No, it's going to correct it from the back end, and what you're going to actually get is you're going to get more. You're going to get more reliable feeding out of it because it's a heavier system, and it should, in theory, lock up better and feed better than shutting the gas off at the front end.
And that theory is good on the rifle. It's not yours, right?
But you'll still get huge amounts of gas, like blowback.
With a can, you're still going to get gas in your face, but
yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I've been watching Ian and Carl on InRange TV. They built what would Stoner do in 17 using the best products today, and they use that JP capture spring system, and they've had zero problems with it in thousands of rounds. They've ran multiple competitions, and they refuse to clean it when the first stoppage happened. So they gave it the stamp of hubris. I was looking at it, and then the price came through, and I was like, I have a lot of stuff that I'm doing right now for 2A4E, and I don't have $150 to throw out to check out a new buffer spring system. Even though I'd want to, I find it interesting, but it ain't gonna happen.
Hey, Tony, you're always asking
Yes,
for free stuff. Just hit them up.
Okay, no problem. I mean, it's not like I need permission to ask for free stuff.
Exactly.
People laugh. People laugh when I ask for free stuff, and then when I get free stuff, they go, "How did you get free stuff?"
Because I asked.
I'm like, give me.
I mean, what are they going to do? Tell you no? Okay, what did hurt you?
Like, if you're willing to hear no 25 times, you'll hear no 25 times and you'll hear yes once.
Hey, Tony. See, but the reason you and I don't have problems with that is because we're married. It's normal.
Oh, yeah, getting rejected is no big deal to me.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I'm going to move us into the product spotlight now. Basically, we have a Ruger show for you tonight.
Oh, nice!
Yeah. First up,
I'm really looking forward to seeing all the Ruger products at SHOT Show.
What days are you going to be there?
I'm going to be there the whole week and then some.
Are you going to be at range day?
I think so. Yeah, I'll be the guy hobbling around.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's why I was asking.
Go up to the Ruger booth and tell them. Go up to the Ruger booth and tell them you're Larry Vickers.
Tony.
I was there in 2015 when that happened, and I was talking to the law enforcement rep, and the law enforcement rep was going, "Who's this guy?"
I'm thinking I'm going to take the camera while I'm there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna say, "Hey, don't you know who I am?"
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. It was 2016. Yeah.
People that don't know, Larry Vickers is going around SHOT Show doing his SHOT Show reviews and SHOT Show interviews, but he was doing it cold. He'd walk up with a cameraman and a microphone and just start talking and expect to get help right away. SHOT Show is an industry show. These guys are making sales. They're moving units. They're trying to sell 200 to 300 guns to people. This guy, who they don't know, middle-aged guy with a pot belly, walks up with a cameraman and sticks a mic in their face like they're supposed to stop what they're doing. Well, of course, they had no idea who Larry Vickers were, and they kind of gave him the shine on.
And the thing is, you know, even though this is the first time I'm going to SHOT Show, you know, I get all the emails, and people know that if you want to talk to somebody, you can arrange like a meeting or just, you know, interview them on the floor if you want. You just have to contact them and find the right people. But I guess he didn't want to do that or something. I don't know. Okay.
And no one would have known about it. No one would have known about it if Larry Vickers didn't go on air and tell people that Ruger blew him off.
Oh, yeah. He went on Facebook ranting and raving.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah. So he embarrassed himself.
I really can't rag on Larry because I've met him and I like him. But yeah, you know, at SHOT Show, if you do some planning, people are more than willing to make accommodations for you.
Yeah, I think that's.
And to be fair, most people do know who he is in the industry, but not the guys like making sales.
Right?
They're not out training and doing stuff. I don't know.
Okay, so first up, we got the Ruger Security 9. You know, I'm not sure what kind of stuff we're going to say about this, but I'll go through a few of the things. This is their new, I guess, compact size pistol. Basically, think Glock 19 size for all you people that know what a Glock 19 size is. Okay, I don't care about its design for holsters, etc. But
let's talk about the.
Wait!
Let's talk about the trigger.
That's what I'm getting to. Okay,
let's talk about that.
Revolutionary. It's a pistol that's designed for holsters. That's revolutionary.
So basically, it's a polymer framed pistol. Okay, here's what we go to. The secure action used in the LCP2 and Security 9 is derived from the reliable and proven hammer-fired LCP fire control system. The secure action combines a smooth trigger pull of the LCP. Okay, don't laugh too hard. With the short, crisp feel and positive reset of single action. Okay, just
have the marketing managers at Ruger ever shot an LCP?
No, they haven't because it is
Whoever
the worst.
Wrote this has never shot an LCP. Clearly.
Yeah, I hear you.
How far have we gotten in this discussion yet? Have you finished with all the accolades yet?
Do you want me to?
No, we're done with the accolades.
No, I'll finish with the accolades.
Go ahead, please. Thank you.
Textured grip frame. Ooh, that's new. Dovetailed high visibility sight systems with some weird Glock style square U at the back. Okay.
Listen, firearms manufacturers, if you're going to rip off someone's sights, don't rip off Glock's sights.
At least do a 3-dot.
They have the worst Glock fanboy here. Worst sights from the factory. Like, why would you rip Glock's sight picture?
I don't.
That's
I don't know.
terrible.
Okay, now I'm going to go to this other stuff because it may apply. Safety features include bladed trigger safety, which is just your little trigger safety. It has a manual safety. Okay, naturally balanced sear with significant engagement and strong spring tension. Okay, here it goes. And hammer catch to prevent the hammer from contacting the firing pin unless the trigger is pulled. Okay, but there is one other thing. This is a hammer-fired pistol with a concealed hammer. Okay,
Right.
Zane, take it away.
So this is a double action only gun. All right, or something very very similar if it's not an exactly double action only. I'm trying to be diplomatic about this.
You're doing a good job.
Be diplomatic. Come on, man.
Don't be. Zane, go ahead. I assumed this was a striker-fired gun, and it had my interest because Ruger's pistols don't have the best. Let me rephrase that. Ruger's centerfire pistols don't have the best reputation, but new one looks interesting. But then I realized it's a hammer-fired gun that uses the LCP style trigger. Nobody wants hammer-fired guns. Listen, don't try to be like Springfield Armory, all right? Don't stop. Just stop it.
If you're going to have a hammer-fired gun, at least Springfield Armory made it a single-action hammer-fired gun.
Yeah. Well, not with the XDE or the XD.
Well, I know, but
you people don't understand. Down at the Ruger Labs, they got a Glock 19, dark room with a Colt 1903 hammerless. Which is not really hammerless. It's just covered up. They turned the lights real low and put on some romantic music, and this is what dropped out: a 15-round double action only. Ruger.
The gun looks good.
It looks great,
and I think it'll sell because of the price point. The MSRP is $379. So as we know,
it should fall under $300.
And when I'm saying they ripped Glock sights, listen, peoples, listen to me. There is literally a white U on the rear and a white dot on the front. Like,
also,
what are you doing, man?
Rounded. The gun is beveled well for concealed carry. It is right at Glock 19 size. It's actually overall length is shorter than the Glock 19, and the height from the bottom of the magazine to the top of the gun is almost the exact same size. I think Glock has theirs down as 4.99 inches, and they have theirs down as 5 inches. So Glock 19 size actually is thinner than the Glock 19.
It's got front cocking serrations. It's got a real pick rail.
It has a lot of stuff that you'd want, except it's not striker fired. And I say not striker fired yet because more than likely, if they do it like they did the LCP
Security 9S,
they'll come out with a Security 9S and then a Security 9 Pro. The Pro will be no
manual
striker.
Safety-less.
It'll be striker fired, manual safety. And then they'll probably have something to improve the trigger. Now I called around to my go-to place, which is Tanner's gun shop in PA. And they didn't have any in yet. I tried to get ahead of the curve and get my hands on any of these Ruger firearms, and they didn't have any available at this time. So the minute I can get my little grubby hands on one, I can. I'll come back on and tell you how horrible it is. But
if this were striker fired and they got rid of that thumb safety, or even just made it a usable thumb safety, because that thing is tiny.
It is small.
Well, as soon as that thing comes out, there are going to be people that will sell retrofit kits to yank the safety off of it.
Well, and let's be fair about it. The gun doesn't need a safety on it. certain guns need manual safety.
It's double action
certain
only.
guns do not. This gun does not need one because of the mechanics of how it works.
I wonder if they put a safety on it just so they could sell it in in Massachusetts and California and stuff like that.
It's not going to sell in California. They have to have micro stamping.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. Here's the other thing about it. It sells to the audience that thinks their carry gun needs a safety. And that's to all the people out there who are new to firearms or who just don't understand that the new, and I'm doing the air quotes here, thing in firearms is you don't need a manual safety because the trigger's the safety that's provided. But a bunch of people aren't comfortable with that. So there's always going to be guns like this. That new hotness from Springfield Armory, the XDE, all of that is because there are a whole bunch of people out there that never take a class, stick it in the holster and carry it around because they know what they're doing. And they don't need to take a class because granddaddy taught them to shoot.
Well, what this is a gun that's between their LCP2 and the Ruger American pistol. It's in that little niche, that little market between the two.
They have something. It's called an SR9.
Yeah, the SR9
This is poof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I'm just saying, if you're going to go, they got the SR9.
I'm tracking
I have no idea why this is here.
Yeah, I'm tracking on why their companies are putting out this stuff because people are buying them. But at least Smith & Wesson did it right where you can get, if you want the safety, you can get it. If you don't have to have it.
Different marketing. Every time Ruger does this, they'll put out the one with the safety, and then they'll put out one without the safety. Hey, listen, you can't keep putting out new guns every 3 months like Ruger does if you dump everything out at once.
That's true. And then they'll come out with the one with no safety, striker fired, which will be the one that everybody actually wants.
No, because Glocks
and then also you
aren't crap.
What's up?
It may work.
I really don't believe Rugers are crap, but this is a difference though, because you're comparing it to a Glock. A Glock is a military grade firearm, and this is what a lot of people don't take into account. Glock, military grade. HK, military grade firearm. Not the VP9, but the rest of the HK line are all been tested to military specs. The VP9, the Ruger, all of those aren't military firearms. They're just handguns that are not going to stand up to a high round count. They're not going to stand up to a lot of abuse comparatively. That's what I said when we started the show. Before we started, this is like the security guard gun. It's the gun that the dude sticks in the drawer or the tackle box gun. It is not designed for heavy use and abuse. I just don't think they'll hold up to it because of how they're built.
Well, here's the thing, though. That's all well and good if this is a toy. But if it's something you're going to possibly defend your life on, no, you don't go that route. Like, I don't care if you're going to shoot it 5 times a year, 1 time a year. Like, if it's something you and your family could depend your life on, you need something that is military grade. You shouldn't be screwing around with this kind of crap. Now, if you want to take this to the range because double action only is life, bro, and terrible triggers, get you all hot and bothered, hey, this might be for you. But no, aside from that, no.
I wonder if Ruger had designed this with the idea that it was going to go into the military trials, because I just looked it up here, and that whole fire control system is one whole unit, like a SIG P320. So I wonder if they had that thought in mind, that you could take this one serialized unit and you can see the serial number through the frame. I wonder if the long-term goal is to have different frames to put it in. But
even from
I would say good initiative, bad judgment, A.
Yeah.
And then I would say that would make sense, though, because with that stupid little tiny thumb safety being a requirement.
Makes sense, but yes. I mean...
Right, and then being...
what is it?
Double action only. It's kind of like the HK P2000.
Well, SIG 230, I think, also has a double action only in the same system.
Yeah.
It flopped. Nobody wanted that double action only, even in the SIG.
I don't know what you said, but I think it's a P250.
P250.
Yeah,
P250. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got it wrong, but I thought about it. Yeah, P250. I found the P250, the double action trigger, and nothing to friggin' boo about. It's just that, firearm industry has clicks. No one wants a double action. That is not the new thing.
There's nothing wrong with a double action if it's a good double action. If this is based on the LCP, I'm going to tell you right now, it is not
It's
a good
not
double
a good
action.
double action.
And here's the other thing. If you have a double action trigger, I don't need a freaking little tiny thumb safety that looks the size of a Tic Tac. And let's go ahead and get something right. There's a difference between reversible and ambidextrous.
Yes.
Ambidextrous controls mean they're on both sides of the pistol at all times. Reversible is I can change it as the shooter. They really need to talk to their ad people.
Yeah, but what I really want to know is, will this pistol fit in a fine Corinthian leather holster?
Well, they make the right holster. and
they got one size.
And you guys mentioned
Go ahead.
A decent double action trigger. There's your decent double action trigger for it.
Is that a car?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. I shot that car. I think it was a car 9 in 2015 at the World Shoot. They had a side match. I was very pleasantly surprised with how well that pistol handled.
It's
just a long trigger, but it's smooth.
It's very good revolver-esque.
Yes.
Double action revolver.
Yeah, it is.
The cars are. Yeah.
Yep. And I don't think the LCP trigger is that.
No. Okay. My double action 686, who I love talking about, has an awesome double action trigger because it was done by a guy who shot revolver competitions. He slicked it up and is beautifully smooth. And comparing that to the LCP, the LCP trigger is like dragging a 10-pound weight across a gravel driveway on fishing line. It is horrible.
I'm going to tell you, I have an LCP, and the trigger, now that it's been shot a bunch, is not like dragging it across gravel. It is now like pulling a 15-pound weight that is across, like, I don't know, maybe sand, because it's way better than gravel.
I mean, it's a bad trigger. Here's the thing. Ruger is not a world beater when it comes to their handguns. They're just not. The only handgun that's exceptional and that's in the top 3 22 pistols is their Mark series pistols. That's it. When you come to centerfire, other than the LCR,
the revolver's
got really nothing to brag about. And the sad thing is that price. Go ahead.
Yeah, I like their revolvers. I've never had a problem with any of their revolvers, but I don't think I've ever shot any of their pistols.
Oh, I have.
I have shot their pistols, and I'm not a big fan of any of their pistols except their revolvers, which aren't a pistol. Well, kind of. You guys know what I mean. And I have, one of their 22 Mark series.
I have shot the LC9S, and it is a substantially better trigger. Being striker fired is actually quite pleasant, but the gun does not have a very good reliability track record. And we're dogging on the LCP trigger real bad, but there's a reason that trigger is terrible. That gun is tiny and meant to go in a pocket, and most people are not going to put it in a pocket sleeve or like you should, but they don't want that thing going bang in someone's pocket. I understand why that trigger is terrible. This is not going in your pocket.
No.
This does not need that terrible trigger.
I'm with you there.
Here's the thing. Here's where I'm at with this. Ruger pistols are okay. There's nothing exceptional about it. They're okay. And the reason they made it back in the day was because they were at that price point that was not as cheap as a High Point or some Soviet surplus. But they were not even close to what Glocks, SIGs, and HKs cost. Well, now that price point is full of better pistols, in my opinion. You're coming in with Canics. You're coming in with other stuff, SAR guns. A lot of stuff from Turkey's coming in that price point.
Heck, even if
I'd rather have.
Even people complain about the Sky pistols, but they're a true double action hammer fired pistol. I mean, their trigger's heavy, but it is smooth. I mean, they're not a 15+1; they're only a 10+1. But and you're coming in at an MSRP $100 cheaper. So I guess
I'm looking at. Would I get one? Would I buy a Ruger Security 9? Maybe.
maybe, yeah.
Maybe. But my maybe is on everyone's, because I mean, you have Ruger, you have the name brand. That's what people flock to. I mean, that's why so many suckers bought that crap Remington came out with. With the R51.
Yeah, and the thing with
RP9.
Ruger is they're going to take care of their customer. I mean, they've proven that time and time again. So you at least you have that going for you.
And again, it's okay. I mean, I've run classes and I've not ever seen a centerfire Ruger in any of my classes that I run. And I really do feel. What's up?
What about that Ruger 1911?
I have heard decent things about it.
Yeah,
I don't think Ruger makes horrible guns. I just haven't heard anything besides those people that on YouTube is great.
Yeah, because I'm sure
I haven't heard.
I'm sure that Ruger 1911 can't be any worse than the Colt, no matter how much Colt tries to screw up the 1911.
Yeah, well,
I have a buddy who has a Ruger 1911, and what do they call it? The SR 1911, I think.
Yep.
He likes it, but he doesn't shoot much, so there's that.
Yeah, I know. See, and that's another thing. What's the market? Because again, shoot a lot and train a lot. Again, I've never seen with Rugers except people who Ruger sponsor, and I really don't expect an honest answer out of them if they're getting a check from Ruger. In what, 5 years, I've not had one class there a Ruger centerfire pistol was in. Not one. Yeah. So I'm thinking it's people that don't train, they don't shoot the guns a lot, and again, it's an okay pistol. And I don't agree with you, Zane.
I get him showing up to my concealed weapons classes, and and that is as much training as most people are ever going to get. And let's be honest, that's not even really training. And I'm not a fan.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
hey, listen, there's somebody right now. There's somebody right now talking about that. I went to a concealed carry class with a high point 40 cal.
That was just you, though, Tony.
Yeah, I know, because nobody else wants to talk about it. It's kind of like shameful.
Okay, well, now we'll go to the next Ruger product, which I think might fare better for everybody except Zane. Not really, because I don't think Zane has problems with it. I think he just isn't a pistol caliber. I have problems
with what it is. I don't have problem with this specific one.
Exactly.
If that makes sense.
Up next is the Ruger PC carbine. And what it is, I don't know if you remember way back when they used to make something that looked very similar to this.
Yep.
And it was, basically it was a blowback style 9mm carbine. It's got a regular light. It's not a Camp 9. It was the Ruger
PC 9.
What was that called? Yeah, I think it was just a PC 9. Well, now it's the PC.
The Camp 9 is Marlin.
Yeah, now it's the PC carbine. Still has a regular stock. MSRP is $649, but
$529.
It is take $529.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
I get that wrong?
I was looking at 22. My fault. Never mind.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
Mute me.
Product, man.
Basically, it is a takedown, so you can take it apart. The fore-end barrel system comes apart. Blowback action. It's got a tungsten bolt weight to help shorten travel. Reversible magazine release. So depending on if you're left-handed or right-handed, reversible charging handle. And like Tony said, they're getting their ambidextrous confused with reversible. Basically chrome hammer forged barrel, half 28 threaded barrel. So that's nice. Let's see, accurate sighting system, blah, blah, rubber butt pad, light crisp trigger pull, utilizing proven 1022 trigger components, which is nice because I'm assuming most of the 1022 trigger components to make them better will probably work in this. And it includes one magazine, but the key to this thing is they make a different insert that uses a Glock mag.
Do you know how mad some of the people at Ruger were to have to do that? Like, I guarantee this was a huge fight.
Oh, yeah, but that is the best thing Ruger could do for this.
I mean, they could have done. Absolutely.
Yeah, because they're cheap. They're all over the place for 30-round magazines for them. I mean, you can't go wrong.
Magpul 21 rounders are like $20.
Oh yeah, and you can get them.
You know what it was
all day.
You know what it was. The guy that usually just screws up every Ruger plan with a firearm by introducing stupid stuff was obviously on vacation that week. They went, hey, let's throw an adapter in. It works with Glock magazines. You know, the most popular friggin' PC carbine magazine out there in existence. Because I'm sure dude had him try to make it work with Colt submachine gun magazines. I'm sorry, that must be my own joke, but I swear. It's just horrible, dude. It finally makes sense. So, did something smart.
I trashed Ruger pretty bad before. And I'm going to say that I think everyone here is going... I don't think it's too disputed that Ruger is probably the king of semi-auto 22 rifles. I mean, would anybody disagree with that? Like they've got...
No, everybody has a 1022.
The 1022 is probably the gold standard of 22 rifles.
Okay.
And this is basically that in 9mm. I mean, it's basically it looks almost exactly. It's the same thing.
It is.
Mm-hmm. Understanding that, in my humble opinion, pistol caliber carbines are completely useless. That aside, this I think is going to unless you shoot one of those competitions that has that class. I'll give it that caveat. Yeah. But this is going to sell, and people are going to like it, and it's going to be fun. But again, I'm going to build a pistol caliber carbine just to see what all the hype's about.
Part of it makes me laugh is this. The one thing almost everyone changes out the minute they get a Ruger 1022 is the trigger. That's their selling point with this, that it uses Ruger 1022 trigger parts. So, yeah, like Chad, I wonder which parts are swappable. What is Volkorson going to make something that gives us an awesome trigger? Because the stock Ruger 1022 trigger is very workable, is very doable, but is worlds better above their stock trigger.
I think what they're saying with that is, look, we know our trigger's not great, but we use the same parts as we use for the other ones, so you can put your own stuff in it.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I'm wondering about that.
Did we?
Ruger sells a drop-in trigger kit that's pop your old one out, put the new one in there, and go shoot it, and it's a lot better than the one that comes with it. So,
yeah, the BX trigger.
Yeah, and if you wait till the afternoon on Thursday of SHOT Show, you can probably get one from Timony really cheap.
Yeah, probably.
That too.
Did we also mention that the rifle's a takedown?
I don't know if we mentioned it, but it is. Yes, you are correct.
Takedown,
which is a cool little rifle. Cool. I like it.
You know,
plus also it's so you can drop a can at the end of it.
Pressure ready. It's takedown. It checked all the boxes.
It's got a pick rail so you can drop a nice scope on it.
Other than being
on the front for bipod.
Being an AR, it pretty much checked all the boxes that you want for pistol caliber carbine.
Yeah. If you want a pistol caliber carbine.
Well, I'm looking at it too, and it looks like it would be legal for California. I don't know what laws you have out there in New Jersey.
Yep.
Well, doesn't California have a rule against drop detachable magazines?
They have two versions available. They have one with the 10-round capacity, which I'm assuming is that, and that one does not come with the threaded barrel. So I'm assuming that version is the one designed for all those other states.
Yep.
Yeah.
That would be my guess.
We would need a whole show to explain what the California so-called assault weapons, and I'm air quoting here, rules are.
Evil features, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. Here's another thing, because I love Zane always trashes pistol caliber carbines.
Because they're
Zane,
useless.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was wondering. The HK MP5, the Uzi, all those crappy pistol caliber carbines.
Nobody uses those anymore, and those are full auto, and they're designed for a specific purpose.
That's all right. The semi ones still sell. Semi-auto Uzi still sell. Semi-auto Thompson still sell. There's still people making bank off
I'm
of
not
that
saying they don't
work.
sell, and I'm not saying people don't have fun with them at the range. What I'm saying is they don't have a practical purpose.
The full auto version.
Have you ever shot jackrabbits?
Yeah, with a 22.
No, you shoot them with a full auto 9mm carbine.
There you go.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about the bleeding.
You just you don't have a use for them because I guess you don't do that.
Anything
with the 40mm grenade launcher.
Any gun that uses 4 points of contact should have a rifle caliber or a shotgun shell coming out of it.
I don't understand why you have such a hold on.
Recoil, right? Reduced recoil shot.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. All right. The problem is Zane's looking at it wrong. Zane, 4 points of contact with a pistol caliber carbine is like shooting reduced velocity loads out of a rifle. You should be used to that,
or
right?
Like 5.56.
It's a reduced velocity
the recoil difference between 5.56 and 9mm out of a long gun is negligible.
Just letting you know, man. There's an option for you if you want reduced recoil loads in a rifle.
Especially if you're doing reduced recoil.
I use reduced recoil as a shotgun, not a rifle.
I'm just saying.
Sure about that?
That's why you don't shoot 3.
Can I mute all these people? Is that acceptable?
Oh yeah, let's
well,
go.
You're the king of the podcast, so
theoretically I can.
Let's move along.
I
think it's a great idea. I think it'll sell a lot. And then when people start making accessories for it, different triggers and whatever else the market comes up with, I think this is going to be awesome.
I'm with you, Tony. I think they knocked it out of the park with this one, unlike the pistol.
Well, I tell you, if my car wasn't in the shop right now, I'd probably be looking to get one of these.
And the thing is they put a pick rail on top. It comes with sights, threaded barrel. You can put a muzzle brake or a suppressor depending on where you live.
And it comes with sling mounts and pick rail on the bottom too.
Yeah, I'm just going to be curious to see how it's going to function with different types of ammo, like hollow points.
Yeah, I know my neighbor, this may sound weird, used to have one of their original PC9s.
Oh, cool.
And he never had any problem with it functioning with pretty much any ammo. But, who knows? Maybe it was just that rifle.
I guess it doesn't come with the carrying bag. That sucks.
Oh, no.
Well, no, the 22 takedown, it comes with a carrying bag.
Right.
So you can break it down and put it in a bag and take it with you.
Yeah, that backpack?
Yeah.
The other question I'd have is, how does it work with a very different Glock mags? You know what I mean? Like just the plethora.
Hey, Tony? Well, first you got to use 9mm Glock mags, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you probably would. The well is pretty large, so you probably get the angle you need to get a good feed. And it's not that deep, so you might even be able to use the micro Glock mags of 26.
Well, they said you can. They said you can use 26s. They said you can use 19s, 17s, and even the fun sticks. But with the Korean mags that are out there, people use a lot of different things. And again, this is a fun gun. If I was using it for self-defense 9mm carbine at home, I'd use Glock, original mags.
Well, but I've tried the Korean mags in my Glocks, and I've had no luck.
No, with the price of the mag pulls, I honestly see no reason to even buy Korean mags anymore.
Yeah.
Like
$15, dude, they're awesome.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is every time I've used the Korean mags in my Glock, I've had no luck. And I got the barrels, the drum ones that come down and they go out to a drum. And I found with the carbine I've got and my pistol, if I stand up and shoot, I'm fine. As soon as I try to rest the magazine on a table, it won't shoot. It jams. So.
Well, then don't rest it on the table.
Don't use Korean mag.
That's a tolerance issue. You if you push hard enough, you can do it with factory Glock mags too. It's just like if you use crappy mags in an AR-15 and you rest the mag on the deck, it'll.
Yeah.
Now, if you're using good mags, it won't do that. But if you're using crappy mags, it'll do that too.
Right.
Yep. Well, for our wonderful Ruger kind of episode, is their new Ruger Precision Rimfire, which has an MSRP of $529. But this is something that intrigues me. I know it's something else Rob wants. I like 22 rifles. Yeah, I like 22 rifles. They're fun to shoot. They're just, Zane doesn't have any use for them, but
you can shoot them all day for like $8.
I know, but so we'll go into.
But if I did have a use for them, this would be the one I would get.
It would be worthwhile. So what we have is it comes with a molded one-piece chassis with an adjustable buttstock assembly, and it's manufactured out of glass-filled nylon, so basically a polymer. So you get a solid foundation. The glass-filled helps it be stiffer. The adjustable buttstock, it has an adjustable, looks like butt plate and cheek riser. It does have a rail on the bottom of the stock, so you can put one of those monopods if you want. It even says that. Let's see, some sort of squeeze bag, metal QD pocket. Let's see if we're missing much. It's a bolt gun, but it uses the standard 10-22 magazines. It comes with 15 round or 10 round, depending on where you're at.
And you get the 25 and 30 rounds, right?
Yes, or the 50 round drums or whatever you want. The big gun bolt throw adjustment makes it so you can change from the rimfire 1.5 inch bolt throw to a short action center fire 3 inch bolt throw, so that you get the full feel of your standard short action bolt gun, which is pretty cool. It has their Ruger Marksman adjustable trigger. You can adjust it from 2 1/4 to 5 pounds. The wrench is stored in the buttstock. Basically, oversized bolt handle, 15-inch free float hand guard, which is aluminum, and it uses M-LOK, so our old buddy Ryan will be happy it's M-LOK. It comes with an 18-inch target barrel, which is also threaded for half 28, so you can run suppressors, muzzle brakes, etc. So basically, that is what it is. It weighs 6.8 pounds. And in my opinion, it is just something super cool if you're into rimfire. Oh, the aluminum Picatinny rail that's on it already comes with 30 MOA elevation. So if you're doing some precision shooting, like 200 yards or something, the 30 MOA base will really help you with a 22 long rifle.
I was going to say, it seems like a lot for a 22.
Not really. When your standard rifles, you're running 20 MOA bases on.
All right, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't,
30 is a lot more of a can, right?
I don't really shoot a lot of long range, so I don't know.
I guess they're expecting a lot of bullet drop.
Well, you get a lot of bullet drop.
You get a lot of bullet drop.
You're going to get that.
If you're shooting at 200 yards, my club does that once a month. We got a 22 fun match.
Yeah, and what are you looking at? Like at 200 yards with a 22, what are you looking at? Like 8 feet of drop or something? I don't know. I can look it up.
Just about. I've used until the thing finally broke and they don't make trigger parts for it anymore. I had a Ivor Johnson prone rifle I inherited from my grandfather. I shot that for years at 100 meter and 200 meter matches. But that thing had a 28-inch barrel on it.
Ooh. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
It's looking.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's not looking too bad.
Yeah, I'm liking it. I got about 5-6 months ago. I got a Ruger Precision rifle, And this looks like it would be a great training rifle, especially if you're trying to teach someone. It's going to be accurate, easy to use. It's got the same trigger that AccuTrigger, the same thing as the precision rifle. I think this is a winner.
I mean, and you can adjust the bolt how long it throws back, and this is fantastic.
That's who this is for. This is for people with Ruger Precisions, for something to train a little cheaper or to train other people on. Right. I mean,
the bullet drop. The bullet drop at 200 is between 38 and 118 inches. Just on this particular website that I found, and then the further you go out, of course, the worse it gets, or the bigger the drop.
It's like 3 to 10 feet.
Yeah, I was watching 22 Planks to shoot at 500, and they said he was aiming 46 feet above the target.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Yeah, didn't he say
that's what called artillery?
Yeah,
pretty
Fire
much.
for effect.
But the thing was, he was getting like 7 out of 10 on target at 500.
What was the wind?
The wind looked like it was blowing about 5 miles an hour. It wasn't horrible. I was looking at it in the background, but it was. He said he had to compensate by aiming a foot off target to the left to get it to hit the target.
Yeah, I'm looking at my app, and I actually have a 22 long rifle in here, and at 300 yards, I'm looking at 130 inches of drop. Just
there you go.
Yeah,
that is almost.
What's that? 11 feet, something like that.
Something like that. But at 200, I'm only looking at like 4 feet of drop. So I think and that's zeroed at 50. Yeah. So
yeah, most of everything I saw on that chart was in the mid 30s inch range.
Yeah. But as far as this Ruger precision rimfire goes, even if you don't have one of their precision rifles and you're looking at an accurate bolt gun that has some sort of chassis system, I mean, you probably can't go wrong with all the stuff that it has.
If you're curious about maybe getting into long range, but you don't want to spend a lot of money and don't know if you're going to like it, this would be a really good way to figure out if you're going to get one of these and shoot a couple thousand rounds at 100 yards. And you'll know really quick whether you're going to like long range or not. And then you can decide to spend the money on something. Especially with how many 1,000-yard ranges are out there. Other than like if you live like
exactly
out in the like Midwest.
And it also comes down to this. At their price point. Now I have a CZ 455 Ultra Max or Ultra Lux. So that's CZ's top of the line, whatever, and I caught it on sale, and it was $399. Free floated barrel, all the really cool stuff out there, but it's still not a Ruger Precision trainer. So yeah, if you're gonna get into it, solid. If it's swappable, like the Ruger Precision is, that you can put all kinds of AR stocks on it and grips on it and accessories, it's even more better. But
I don't think you can put a stock on it. I think the stock is what you see is what you get.
Yeah, until somebody comes out with
you have to change the whole lower assembly out.
Yeah.
Because it looks like it's all together, whereas on the Ruger Precision, it's basically a tube in the back, a regular buffer tube, so you can take the stock off and put a Magpul stock on there or whatever.
But I look at it this way. 22 Precision is coming back. And like Zane said, not a lot of 1,000-yard ranges out there. You can take this to an Appleseed shoot and learn the basics of precision rifle shooting. You can learn on this without breaking the bank. Even if you get match grade ammo, still comparatively, you can shoot it a lot more. And learning the basics doesn't need match grade ammo. You know what I mean?
No,
as you get up to it, you can get match grade, but truly starting out, no, you don't.
Well, the thing is,
great starter rifle.
Depending on the rifle, like you said, go to an Appleseed. This would be an awesome Appleseed rifle. I mean, no matter what you want to do with it, but the problem with 22s, you have to buy like every ammo to see what it likes anyway. I mean, I have it's an old Remington bolt action that's got like a 24-inch barrel on it.
Is that the 54?
And It's let's see, it's a 50. It's the magazine fed target. It's a 511, I think.
Oh, okay.
And its favorite ammo is CCI green tag, which is good ammo, but it's not like your super expensive stuff. So it's nice because you can buy that stuff and not break the bank, so to speak, if you can find it.
Yep.
But that's the thing, is you shoot all these different ammos with it, and eventually you find what works. And hey, and I'm sure this is the same way, but you may get lucky and find ammo that's fairly reasonable.
Yeah. All of a sudden you find out it works with Federal Auto Match. Because that's what I use. I use Federal Auto Match on a lot of my stuff, and pretty much almost everything rocks it. Every now and again, you find something like that shoots CCI better. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Now again, with the number of precision matches that are coming out, awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying to look and see what barrel twist this thing has in it.
And then I closed the window.
It's usually on that page.
I think it said it was a 1 in 16, but you might have to click on the specs.
Okay. That's where
I'm opening the spec sheet right now.
Yeah, it's a 1 in 16 right hand.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty standard for yeah.
Yeah, if my car was in the shop, this would be a gun I'd definitely consider owning.
Yeah, I really want to look at one when I see one in the store. So, or actually, I'll probably see one at shop before I see one in the store.
Yeah,
pretty much. Ruger did it right. I think when it comes to long arms, Ruger can pretty much nail it every time because they know the formula. When Bill Ruger took the dirt nap, a bunch of people were being held back, I think. And what they decided to do was design stuff that people really wanted that was already on the market. They kicked butt when they came out with the Ruger American rifle, and then they just dumped it out there in calibers. Then they made the Ruger Predator rifle, which they threaded it and shortened the barrels of some of them, and that sold like hotcakes. The Ruger Precision rifle selling, the Ruger 5.56 Precision is selling, and I think this is going to sell too. I think maybe Bill Ruger was holding a lot of people back, or maybe they just changed management or something. But they really stepped up. And just
Bill Ruger would have never allowed a threaded barrel.
He wanted to have magazines and all this stuff. So
yeah, as much good as he did with Ruger, he was really holding the company back.
Well, hey, and you know what? This thing's made in North Carolina.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
I thought it was just interesting.
Well, we put 3 Ruger products in here, and at least 2 of them are halfway good. So, I guess we'll move on to our listener feedback now, because I actually checked iTunes, and look, we had listener feedback. Yay! So I'll go through this because they're pretty good user feedback. The first one is 5 stars. It says, "What about insurance?" by Bill B102. It says, "My wife and I both carry concealed. Knowing that every bullet is attached to a lawyer, we're concerned about the legal issues that follow even a justifiable shoot. I was wondering if you'd consider doing an episode about CCW insurance. Maybe compare a few of the major companies that provide this type of coverage. I'm sure it would be of interest to your audience. On another note, I started listening to your podcast about 1.5 years ago while working out at the gym. It always makes the time fly and has given me good insight into many shooting subjects. It took me about 18 months to listen to every episode, starting at number 1 and now at 203. And during the time, I lost 35 pounds and 4 inches off my waist. Thanks so much for everything you do for the gun community." I just want to say thank you.
Weight is awesome, but my God, you've got some time on your hands, my brother.
I was going to say, we got to thank this guy from starting at number 1, because I didn't even start at number 1. Plus, he lost a bunch of weight. So
I'll go ahead.
Good for him.
That's because starting at number 1 made him sick.
Well, it could be.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it probably got better. He probably lost 30 of those pounds once we started doing it and Ryan gave up. He lost it from laughing once we all got together, and you'll know why next. So a few shows back, Dyslexic Scribe left us some feedback for a rifle. Well, now he's on.
Are we gonna even address the CCW insurance thing? Or?
Yeah, I can.
Chad and I were talking about that a little bit ago, and I've been working on putting a little summary together of the major companies out there. So maybe
in the future, we'll go over. We'll probably have a show with it that instead of reviewing, or not reviewing, but discussing products, we'll discuss the different insurances once Rob gets this stuff put together for us. So
cool. I like it because I
idea.
looked into this a while back too, and I do think it's an interesting topic.
It's really complicated though. There's no standard.
Yeah, that's the problem with it, and which is probably why they want our input on it, because it's a pain in the butt to compile everything.
And one of the reasons is it's a pain in the butt, and I'll go ahead and say it because it's like comparing apples to oranges to broccoli from programs.
Yeah, it really is. Like, this company will offer all these things, and this other company only offers legal fees coverage, but it's unlimited legal fees. Where the other company does like bail money, and they'll give you, expert witnesses, but it's only up to $250,000. So it's very complicated. And then some of them you got to pay it up front, and they'll pay you back. NRA.
Yep. And it's no regulation.
Yeah.
And that's no bueno.
Yeah,
so.
It's going to be a fun, an interesting show.
Yeah.
We'll be preceded by the caveat that none of us are lawyers, and this is not legal advice.
Well, yeah, we'll have to put that into Rob's disclaimer. So we'll go back to this other one. I was talking about, he asked us about the rifles, so now it's first hunting rifle, 5 stars again. I appreciate the feedback. You are correct in assuming I lack prior experience. I have only ever hunted with a grandfather who has since passed away. I have been limited to hog hunting mostly, and I will be going elk hunting next fall outside of Gunnison, Colorado with cousins. Max expected range on the hunting ground is 400 yards. Secondly, I am looking to spend the same amount on the scope as the rifle, so another $1,200. I have since settled on a 308 thanks to the Ballistics by the Inch website and the availability and price of 308 ammo. Thanks once again for your time. So that's good to know.
Buy?
I don't know. He didn't say that.
No, he's settled on a 308 caliber.
Oh, she would.
It doesn't say he's bought it yet.
I don't think he's picked the rifle. I think he's still.
We're all gun nerds here. We got to know the make, the model. We got to know the scope and the rings. Come on.
I'm still going with.
Pretty sure he hasn't bought anything yet.
I'm still going with the Bergera or whatever it is, because those are some awesome rifles for the price.
Oh yes.
But
those are very nice.
Yeah, so for $1,200 for a rifle and then another $1,200 for a scope, you really have a lot of options available.
Yes.
They're all really, really good options.
And that's the thing is, and like with scopes, I mean, for that price, I mean, we're all going to say you can't really go wrong with Vortex. But
Vortex.
I'm going to actually throw out. This one's a little cheaper, but since I actually reviewed one of these before, because he's only hunting to, 400 yards roughly, he doesn't need super high power. So, I'm going to say take a look at the Sturka scopes, the 2.5 to 15. I reviewed one, I don't know, about a year. The thing is super clear, very nicely built. And I was just amazed at how clear the thing was for the price. I mean, they're around $800. But go to a store and look through one. If you hold it up to the Vortex. I know Ryan Cross reviewed some of the Athlon optics, and I hear they're doing quite a bit. But really, in that price range, you have so many options. Just go look. Go to a big store that has a bunch of them. look through them, and see what you like, because they're all gonna, in that price range, your options are limitless.
I think I'd probably get a Tika.
Yes, Tika's great, especially for a hunting rifle.
The rifle?
I think that's what I'd go with. I mean, and they're not even gonna. I don't think you're even gonna be up to that 1,200 with a Tika. I mean, what's a Tika run? 8 to 1,000, something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you're still really. I think 1,200 for a rifle. You're looking at more like you can get a really nice rifle for $1,000 or less.
Yeah,
8 to 1,000. Like those Bergeras, they're in that price range also.
Again, CZs I think are in that price range. I think they're cheaper.
But
really
I wouldn't recommend anything by Freedom Group.
No. Nope.
Oh, come on, Freedom Group. You gotta know the name.
Nope.
So, but yeah, like with scopes, that's kind of, just don't get too much power because it's a hunting scope.
Minute. Hey, can I ask you guys something? Because we're talking about bolt guns, right? We're talking about bolt guns.
Yeah.
Do you have an American-made company that makes a bolt gun that you trust?
Winchester.
Okay.
Again, American-made.
Winchester?
Winchester's made in Japan.
Well, okay, here's the deal. I'll go with Savage because even though they're not at the top of the line, they're made in America, and they make really decent rifles, especially for the price.
Yep.
But I hunt with a Savage.
Yeah. The sad part is I have a Savage upstairs, and I didn't think of that. That's so sad. Also, I guess Ruger.
Yeah,
Ruger,
but it's not top of the line. But I mean, it's still. I mean, those are the American options pretty much at this point. Freedom Group screwed up Remington. I'm sorry, but I don't want your stuff.
I don't want anything Freedom Group.
But
I would go with a teacup, and I'd put a some sort of a $1,000-$1,200. I wouldn't even go as much as like a 15. I'd put a 3x9 on it. If your max range is going to be 400 yards, I'd go with like a 3x9 made by Vortex or something, and get a good set of rings, and have it installed. Make sure it's installed properly, which you don't want it to be a little bit off cant.
Make sure and get like a one-piece base.
Yeah, I'd
good rings.
And like you say, he's going with 308, which I think is the proper choice for that because of ammo.
And I think
and he can get
that's fine for elk. Yeah,
right, and he can get plenty of practice ahead of time because 308 ammo is cheap and available.
Yep.
So
you can get a Tika Hunter in 308 for $875 on the website. So I'm sure you could probably find them for $700.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I would. That's what I would get.
And truthfully,
no, lie to me.
Lie to you.
Yeah, I hate when people
there
say
you
that.
go.
Right. That's a crutch, and I will lie to you.
At the end of the day,
my thing is
wrong show.
When you have a price set up, $1,200 for the glass, $1,200 for the rifle, and the money you save can go into taking a long-range rifle class like the one Rob had, or one of the hunter classes that you can get to get you shooting better. Spend the money there. I mean, people often ask about what gun to get, what defensive ammo to get, and no one really goes, what classes should I take to get better at what I do?
It's true. You can't fix every problem with hardware.
Exactly. And whatever your granddaddy taught you, like a lot of other stuff, you've probably forgotten some of it and don't apply all of it. Great in the first place. And I'm not denigrating what anybody says, but you're going on memory, man. Go ahead and take a class, and maybe you'll learn something new that changed since Granddad's time. You know what I mean? It's not just because I teach classes, because I don't offer a hunting class, but I'm saying you don't know what you don't know. Go learn it, and you'll surprise yourself with new technology, maybe a new ability. Maybe you'll stretch your yardage out that you can hit dependably and repeatedly at over 400 yards. You just don't know. But too many people just go, well, I got the gun, I got the scope, I got this, and I'm good to go, and I'll just go out and shoot stuff. And then they end up being horrible hunters, or they wound stuff and then have to track it for a day and wait for it to die bleeding out.
Yeah.
And something else to think about is I'm sure he probably has thought of this, but if he hasn't, there's going to be other costs associated. You're going to want a decent range finder, and you're going to want, there's some other stuff you're going to. I don't know if you factored that into your pricing, binoculars. Yeah. So just something to think about. I'm sure he has, but just in case.
Yeah. He sounds. I mean, this is his second feedback, and he sounds like he's trying and he's learning and he's doing good. It sounds like.
At least he's asking questions.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, anybody that asks questions, is probably trying. Mm-hmm. So now we go on to Baloney Hunter sent us some feedback, and it says not the gun. I love this feedback. It says he gave us 5 stars, thankfully. It says not the gun funny show, but funny mother effers. The guys get real when they're breaking down products and trends in the firearms industry. Is it a POS? Is it worth your hard-earned money? Does anyone have more A2 grips donated to him than Tony? No. With humor and sarcasm, the guys will let you know. Bye, Felicia. Out.
Wait. Hey, I am offended by this post. I am not a mother effer. I have standards. I start with my cousins, okay? It's my cousins.
Yes, but
being a Southerner, we do have standards, okay? We're not the dumb rednecks y'all think us are. You probably got to be from New York.
Well, somebody struck a nerve.
Oh yeah, that's protestive too much.
But I'm gonna have to say that was probably one of my favorite feedbacks since I've been the host of the show. So the others.
That's what we do this, man, for the feedback.
Yeah.
I guess one of us is going to have
people to listen to us and give a crap.
I guess one of us is going to have to start using a super annoying voice so we can get as funny as the Gun Funny Show.
No, it says we're funny. We don't need to.
I'm just playing Ava.
If Tony and I keep it with this flu and our noses and stuff, yeah.
Hi, is your refrigerator running?
I could never get into the Gun Funny Show. I just couldn't get into it.
God.
Hey, what's Sean's phone number? Maybe we should call him and prank him.
Well, here's the funny deal, right?
He gave it out on 171. Or we like shooting?
No. I meant. I have his phone number, but I meant Sean Fisher since he's not here tonight.
Oh, Sean, gotcha.
Here's the thing: Baloney Hunter has been following for a long time. One of the first people that liked me after the show. So it's funny, and no, I don't think anyone has more A2 pistol grips than I do. And if they do, may God have mercy on your soul.
If you do have more than Tony has, Tony needs more.
Oh,
yes, please send him to Tony. If you need his address, send me, and I'll give you his address so you can send him to him.
Understand, Chad, I have your address too.
Oh, you didn't know I moved? See, but Tony,
I think you're about to get an order of 100 inflatable dolls.
No, see, I know something about Tony because I'm just like Tony. I'm too cheap to ship him stuff, so he's too cheap to ship me all those A2 pistol grips.
Yeah, but I have a cell phone. I'll order Domino's and have it shipped to your house. I hope you like 200 pineapple and ham pizzas.
Oh. Okay, I get it. Well, Tony, now that we're done with feedback, I guess you can plug your whatever diversity shooting.
Whatever it is I do. All right, guys, welcome to 2018. The diversity shoot schedule is being set up as we speak. I just sent out a lot of dates just for the Gun for Hire location. I'm looking at 5 to 6 events just at Gun for Hire Range in Woodland Park this year. If you don't know what we do, it's a Second Amendment advocacy group. Second is for everyone. What I do is invite people of all races, sexualities, religions, genders, whatever. No matter who you are, where you are, or what you are, we invite you to come to Gun for Hire Range and learn about your Second Amendment rights, meet a bunch of real gun owners and actually talk to them, meet Second Amendment groups like NRA, ILA, CNJFO, and various grassroots organizations in New Jersey, and they'll actually introduce themselves to you on a personal level. We have pizza, we have giveaways, we have prizes. We have raffles, and then you can go into the range, and we have over 200 rental guns at Gun for Hire that for attendees that night, free rental. We have guns brought by all the gun owners that show up. You can shoot their guns. We have at least 3 NRA instructors set up in porch just to introduce you to multiple firearms. Follow me on Simon Says Train on Instagram. Follow me on Simon Says Train on Facebook. Follow the Second is for Everyone on Facebook. And whatever my Twitter is called, I think it's Second for Everyone on Twitter. And you'll see pictures and photos of events, the guns used. Go to diversityshoot.com, and you can also see photos there. Our new schedule will be put up there. We also have the 2A4E podcast that Sean and I started. We're up to episode 11 right now, released on the website. So what we're just trying to do is make the Second Amendment community open to everyone. We want to get you in the door. You don't have to own a gun. We just want to introduce you to firearms and show the lies that the mass media puts out there. And my thing is, if you don't own a gun, that's cool. But if you know BS when you hear it, so when you hear it on CNN or when you hear it at the next mass shooting, you know a group of people you can contact on Facebook or in email and go, I just saw this. Is this true? And we can break it down and give you truth bombs. We're just trying to make it more accessible, the Second Amendment, to everyone, regardless of your sexuality, your anything. We want you to understand this is a civil right, no matter who you are. So that's what we do at the Second is for Everyone. Right now, we're well on the way to building Rob's rifle, which is Adam's Arms Upper. Rob donated. And I'm putting together the lower now, and that's going to be used to introduce people to the 5.56. And it also introduces new people to piston-driven ARs, because a lot of people have never shot one. Rob was awesome enough to donate it, and I'm going to use that to introduce people to firearms. Thanks, Rob. You're an awesome human being, no matter what I say behind your back.
Wait. We need to record this. We're going to play this at the end of every episode from now on.
Oh, it's recorded all right.
I mean, this is going to be like, I don't think I'll ever let him forget this.
So the schedule should be up next week's show.
Okay. Mike, thanks for joining us in your review. Do you want to tell people where they can reach you, or is there anywhere that you want to tell people?
Yeah, thank you again for the invite. I'm an occasional guest or host on the AR-15 podcast, and along with some of the other Firearms Radio Network shows. I was actually the host of the Competitive Rifle podcast, and I'd been on the Precision Rifle podcast, but that went away also. You can reach me at competitiverifle@gmail.com. And I'm looking forward to retiring when I can come out of my box a little bit more without somebody saying, so-and-so from such and such said so-and-so. And so, yeah, and then I got to listen to whatever organization saying, well, he's really not representing our views. So, yeah,
well, we said that at the beginning, our views and opinions. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I've got a whole bunch more stuff to review, because what I've been doing off the last month is see, I'm lucky. I had my kids early on when I was poor. So by the time they grew up, I was making more money than I knew what to do with. So I've been buying a bunch of products. Pretty much everything I've got on this new rifle here is brand new, and I'm slowly writing reviews about it.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks for coming on. I'll keep posting your reviews if you want to keep coming on and talking about them. We'll
absolutely. I hope to see you at SHOT Show.
Yeah. After we turn this off, I'll get some information or something from you, and
okay,
I'll probably be there with JD and the AR-15 guys. So
yeah, we're already planning to meet up there.
Yeah, since I'm staying at JD's house.
Nice.
So we're on to the wrap up. Send questions or comments or feedback to gungearreview@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review. We will read it on air, so as you can tell, and we thank you for leaving those. Check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews and industry coverage. Check us out on Facebook at /Firearms Insider, and follow us at Firearms Insider on Instagram. Thank you for listening to the largest pound for pound podcast on the network. And we are out.
Bye, Felicia.